Namaste and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit, and I'm so glad you could join me this evening. For our Tuesday satsang, we'll be doing chapter 4 of the Kriya Yoga Upanishad, which is all about subtle anatomy. So chakras, nadis, the vital breaths or Vayus. Before we begin, I have a few announcements. We've just got finished with the July calendar. And if anybody would like to receive our calendar every month, if you haven't done this already, please email me at my channel and I'll be happy to include you with that. So for our Tuesday satsangs through July, we'll be continuing with our chapters of the Upanishad. And this coming Friday, the 2nd, will be our monthly Kriya Yoga Sadhana and Devi Puja. And if you're new and you like some of the practices we do this evening, Friday would be a very good continuation of that. The 9th of July, the next Friday, I will be doing Puja and Satsang to the Kali Nitya Goddess Gana. This is part 11 of our 15-part series. The 16th will be Devi Puja and Yoga Nidra meditation. The 23rd, we will not have any pujas from this temple. I'm going to be helping out with Shiva Sai Mandir's Guru Purnima celebration, and I highly recommend that you watch that. You can watch that or attend. Go to shivamandir.org for additional information. This is the time when we honor our life teachers and spiritual teachers. And then the last Friday of the month, the 30th, will be part 12 of our Kali Nitya series. I'll be honoring the Nitya goddess Balika. So this is what we have coming up this month. So I'd like to begin with a little warm-up exercise, exploring the subtle energy areas of the body, also known as the chakras. So I invite you to find a comfortable seated position. It can be on the floor, on a cushion, in a chair, just any way you can sit with a straight back. I invite you to close your eyes and just begin breathing deeply. Just be aware of each inhalation and exhalation. Feel the sensation of the air coming in as it enters with an inhalation, and how it feels being exhaled as well, either through the nose and or the mouth. Feel the chest expanding, shoulders rise as you inhale, and feel the chest coming in and the shoulders coming down as you exhale. And feel the expanding of the belly as you inhale and the contracting of the belly with each inhalation and exhalation. So I invite you at this point to take a deep and clearing breath, and then resume deep breathing while focusing your attention to the crown of your head. Breathing in and out through the crown. Being aware of any feelings, sensations. Just let yourself be aware of what it's like to focus on that area. And just take note if it's easy or if it's hard. And now take another deep and clearing breath. And let your awareness now settle to the third eye area, the center of the forehead. You could also include the area of the eyes and the ears as you breathe into these areas. And again, just let yourself be aware of the experience. What's it like to focus your breath and your attention on this area? Again, is it easy? Is it hard? Does anything else come into your awareness? And then take another deep and clearing breath. And let your awareness drop to the center of the throat, breathing into the throat center. And again, just being aware of anything you experience as you focus there. And now take another deep and clearing breath. And let your awareness now drop to the heart center. Breathing into the center of the chest. Focusing on this area. And just again, being aware of whatever enters your awareness. Then take another deep and clearing breath. And let your breath and your attention now come to the upper abdomen, the area of the solar plexus. Breathe and focus on this area. And again, just be aware of the experience. And then take another deep and clearing breath. And let your breath and attention now focus on the pelvic area, the area just behind the pubic bone. Just breathing into this area and maintaining awareness. And then take another deep and clearing breath. And let your awareness drop to the area of the perineum. Breathing into that area, focusing on that area. And being aware of whatever manifests. And now take a final deep and clearing breath and bring your awareness back to the heart center. Just breathe in and out through the heart and let yourself become connected to whatever form of the divine you are closest to. Feel that presence. Visualize it. And just acknowledge that it is always there for you. And then I invite you to bring the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And we're going to close by chanting Om 3 times. Inhale and exhale, and slowly open your eyes. So I hope you enjoyed that little occasion to once again reacquaint yourself with the chakra centers of the body. And something you should do really is make a mental note of any areas that were more difficult to breathe into. And you can do a simple breath meditation each day where you're breathing deeply, focusing your breath and attention on that center, and just letting whatever comes into your awareness manifest. Just let it come and let it go. And I think you'll find, after doing that for a few days, you'll find any resistance or tensions slowly going away. and your breath more open, and maybe new insights, maybe handling situations a little bit differently. It's just a very powerful practice. So I'd like to move on to our opening puja so that we're doing our study in sacred space. Before we begin, I'd like to once again remember our friend Achala and her mother Mahendra, who is in the hospital but improving, and we just put the energies out there that she continues to improve and she becomes restored to health. Om Jai Ma. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yashmare Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi. Om Gam Ganapataye Namo Namah. Jai Ganesha. Om Sri Guru Bhyo Namah. Jai Guru. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapalani Durga Shama Shivadatri Svasvada Namostute Jaya Tvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagati Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Jai Ma Kali. Oops. Hasn't happened before. Jai Ma. So the Kriya Yoga Upanishad, Chapter 4, Mystical Anatomy. The measure of your body is 96 fingers tall. In its center, there burns a great fire, bright as molten gold. 2 fingers above the anus, but below the genitals, is the downward pointing triangle known as the Saturn Mass Energy Converter Chakra, called in Sanskrit Muladhara. And so the 2 previous verses are referring to this design, the yantra for the chakra. There's the golden cube, which is the symbol of the earth element, within which there is a triangle with a black Shiva lingam, and Kundalini serpent is wrapped around it 3.5 times, and she is ready to go up the central channel, also known as Sushumna. The knot in the Jupiter chakra is found in the center of the spine, 9 fingers above the Saturn chakra. The knot of the Jupiter chakra is 4 fingers long and looks like an egg. It is enveloped in a sheath, and its navel is visible to the center. So by the Jupiter chakra, this is the yantra for the 2nd chakra, the genital chakra, and its key symbol is the crescent moon, the symbol of the water element. So we're going to be discussing, to some extent, the 7 chakras, which we see visualized here, and the main energy channels known as the Nadis. So the chakras, the passage talk and Jupiter chakras being the first. The 3rd chakra, with its downward facing triangle, the fire element, is associated with Mars. Venus for the heart chakra, the 6-pointed blue star. Mercury with the throat chakra and its white ball of light, the ether element. The sun and the moon are associated with the 3rd eye chakra. And then the 7th chakra at the crown of the head. Connecting the chakras is a central passageway running along the spinal cord called Sushumna Nadi. And this is the passageway through which the Kundalini Shakti or Kundalini serpent will travel upwards to meet Lord Shiva in Agnya Chakra, or the 3rd eye, where we see this downward blue triangle and a white Shiva lingam and the Bij mantra Om. And when those 2 powers meet, there is the enflowering of our true selves, which I'm trying to find the picture of. I'll just use this traditional one, and the 1,000-petaled lotus at the crown of the head. You'll notice on these traditional diagrams that the colors for the chakras is different from ones we typically will see very often. The rainbow colors of the chakras really only goes back to about the year 1971, when they were mentioned in a rather popular book at the time. I myself, when I teach and guide meditations, I really like the traditional colors. Then there are two other nadis, two other energy channels running to either side of the Sushumna Nadi. On the right is the solar channel called Pingla Nadi, and on the left, the Ida Nadi, or the lunar channel. And that's something we're going to go into in more depth as we read through the chapter. It is situated in the divine fire channel called Sushumna and has 72,000 astral energy channels or nadis radiating from it, but only 14 are of major importance. So 72,000 nadis or energy channels, really it's the same concept as the meridians in acupuncture, different channels associated with different organs of the body or different flows of energy. And so one thing where this particular Upanishad differs from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras is it does go into some detail in the subtle anatomy. And we're going to do some additional meditations associated with that. These 14 channels, this is an author's note, have Sanskrit names which cannot be intelligently translated into English. Don't be troubled. You need only work with the three preeminent channels, and Ida, Pingla, and Sushumna. And that's actually what the verse itself says, that last sentence. This is verse 4:7. These three channels are Sushumna, Ida, and Pingla. These are the important ones. Okay, we're going to 4.8. The remaining 11 are called Sarasvati, Pusha, Varuna, Hastajiva, Yahasvini, Alambasa, Kuhu, Vishvadara, Payasvini, Shankini, and Gandhara. Again, the three most important channels are the moon channel, Ida, sun channel, Pingala, and the divine fire channel, Sushumna. And the most important channel is the divine fire channel, the central channel, Sushumna, which leads to the door of God. 2 fingers breadth below the Jupiter chakra resides the divine fire called Kriya Kundalini. So if we come back to this diagram, whoops, get the right one here. We see a downward facing triangle on the bottom, which is the symbol of the fire element. It is formed of earth, water, fire, air, and ether, of thought, intelligence, and ego personality. It is Kriya Kundalini coiled around herself, holding her mouth the divine creative channel, which controls the 10 vital life forces, or pranas, and the assimilation of meals. So bringing in food, but also bringing in breath. To the left side of the divine fire channel is the moon channel, and the sun channel rises on the right side of this divine fire channel. Further out, to the sides of the divine fire channel, are the nadis Kuhu and Sarasvati. And I'm going to show you this. I was trying to show you this illustration here. There we go. So there's Sushumna in the center, Ida and Pingala, these lunar and solar channels, to either side. And then to either side of those 2 nadis are these 2 additional ones, Kuhu and Sarasvati. Kuhu Nadi is associated with the reproductive organs, also the nose and excretory organs. And Sarasvati is connected to the tip of the tongue and the corners of the mouth. Now, we've got these three main channels. There are additional nadis in front and in back of these. Gandhara and Hastajiva flank the Ida before and behind. So there's a channel on the left in the front, channel on the left in the back, doubled by Varana, Pusha, and Yahasvini, Shankari, doubles the Gandhara. So in front of the Varana Nadi, we have Shankini and Gandhara. Gandhara Nadi is connected to the right eye, Shankini to the right ear, Varana to the left eye. And then on the other side, Hastajiva, just into the back of the, on the right of the Pingala Nadi. This is connected to the toes of the right foot. Yasvini to the toes of the left foot. And then Ida is also connected to the left eye. And then running from the anus to the navel is Alambasa. There's a little channel just right in this area. And Alambasa Nadi, let's see, is connected to the mouth, the ears, and the excretory organs. Parallel to the divine channel is Kuhu, the color of the full moon. We mentioned Kuhu before. The moon and the sun channels rise to the level of the nostrils. Yasvini reaches to the toes of the left foot. Pusha runs to the left eye, parallel to Pingala, the channel on the right. So there's an additional channel on the right, Pusha, that's running along that nadi on the right side. Payasvini, now we're looking at the other side, reaches to the right ear, and Sarasvati, which we mentioned before, to the tongue. Hastajiva runs down to the toes of the right foot, and Shankini to the right ear. Gandhara reaches up to the right eye. Vasvadhara remains in the knot of the navel. So those are some of the key energy channels. And again, the real important ones are those center three, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Those are the ones that are really going to make a difference in meditation. And speaking of meditation, let's do another experimental one. So the solar and lunar channels, Pingala, the more warm, more masculine, more dynamic channel on the right side, is connected to the right nostril. And Ida, the cooler, more feminine, more receptive channel, goes to the left nostril. And so when we do alternative nostril breathing, what we're doing is actually balancing the energies of these two energy passages. So we're going to do just a little experiment here. I'm going to invite you just to bring a finger up and lay it against your left nostril. And breathe deeply just through the right. I'm just going to do this for a couple of minutes. And then just bring your hand down and just take a moment and just see how you're feeling at the moment. A lot of people in classes I've taught who do this exercise find when they breathe through the right side, they find themselves more energized, maybe even a little more hyped up from that activity. So now let's try it on the left side. So bring a hand up, lean it against the right nostril, and we're going to repeat the exercise on the left side. And then again, just bring your hand down. Slowly open your eyes and just again take a moment and note how you're feeling. A lot of people, when they do the left side, find that they're a lot more relaxed, maybe more quiet in nature. And so now let's work with both of these together. If you'll raise your right hand and bend your peace fingers, you're going to block the right nostril with the thumb, the left nostril with the ring finger. This is an additional mudra you can try in doing Nadis Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing. So bring your right thumb to your right nostril and inhale through the left. Then block off the left with the ring finger and exhale through the right and inhale. And then just go back and forth. One more exhalation, inhalation on the right side. And then a final exhalation on the left. And then open your eyes and again, just take a moment and note how you're feeling after working with both energy channels. We'll be doing an additional exercise this evening involving Sushumna and the raising and lowering of Kundalini energy later on in this broadcast. So the next section, the 10 vital breaths. There are 10 pranas, also called the vital breaths. They are prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana, naga, kurma, krikara, devidata, and dhananjaya. Of these vital breaths, 5 are the most important. They are prana, apana, udana, samana, and vyana. Of these 5 breaths, only the 2 are most important and regarded as very holy by the yogis. These are the ascending life, prana, which is inhalation, and the descending life, apana, exhalation. Only these 2 need to be understood to practice yoga. The ascending life, apana, is always the supreme life force. The ascending prana is omnipresent, permanently residing in the throat, the nose, the navel, and the heart. Basically, prana covers everything from the navel above. The descending life, apana, inhabits the anus, thighs, knees, and the lower part of the body up to the level of the navel. So everything from the navel below is apana. So even though you're bringing air in and downwards with prana, you're still rising subtle energies. And even though you're bringing breath up with your exhalation, subtle energies are being lowered with the out-breath. Vyana life force is in the head, ears, eyes, and neck, down to the level of the shoulders. Udana life force inhabits the limbs. Samana life force inhabits the whole body. The remaining 5 vital life forces reside in the skin, the bones, and the flesh. The ascending current regulates physical and astral breathing. The descending current regulates the toxic excretions of the physical and astral bodies. Vyana life force produces sounds, so I'm using some of that right now as I speak. Sorry, having some knee issues, so I'm switching positions here. Samana life force gathers together. Udana life force enables the astral body to levitate. Naga life force, which by the way means snake, causes belching. Dhanamajaya life force fills the stomach. Kurma life force, kurma means turtle actually, causes the eyes to close. Through krikara life force, hunger exists. Devadatta life force is the vital breath that brings sleep. So these are all important principles in traditional Indian medicine, the practice of Ayurveda. Causal beings, devas, that is gods and goddesses, reign over the astral channels. Sri Shiva reigns over Sushumna, the central channel. Sri Vishnu reigns over Ida, the Nadi on the left side. And Sri Brahma reigns over Pingala, the solar channel on the right side. And likewise, you could assign those three nadis to their Shaktis. So Parvati over Sushumna, Lakshmi over Ida on the left side, and Sarasvati on the right side. Sri Viraj reigns over Sarasvati. Sri Pushan reigns over Pusha. Sri Vayu reigns over Varuna. Sri Varuna reigns over Hastajiva life force and over the Ambasa and Kuh life forces. Sri Surya, that's the sun, reigns over the Yasvini life force. Sri Chandra, the moon, reigns over the two astral channels, Gandhara and Shankini life forces. Sri Prajapati, another form of Shiva as Lord of the Animals, reigns over the Payasvini life force, and Sri Soma reigns over Vishvadara life force. In the lunar channel, the moon moves. In the solar channel, the sun moves. When the ascending currents of the solar channel enter the lunar channel, it is beginning of the sun's northern path. When the vital breath goes from lunar to solar channel, it is the beginning of the southern path. The sun and the moon unite within your body when vital breaths reside in a meeting place of these two channels, and that's referring to the third eye. When the vital breath in the Saturn chakra, the base chakra, Muladhara, it is the spring equinox. When the vital breath is in the head, it is the autumn equinox. Prana life force, like the sun, travels through the signs of the zodiac each time you take a complete inhalation and exhalation. Therefore, holding your breath before expelling it will bring rapid spiritual evolution. So we see the breath, the cycle of the breath, being compared to the wheel of the year. Mystically, an eclipse of the moon occurs when the breath reaches the abode of Kriya Kundalini via the lunar channel. There is an eclipse of the sun when the vital breath follows the solar channel in order to reach Kriya Kundalini. Mount Meru, that's the center of the world, is in the head, or Kedara, the Himalayas, is at the brow level. The holy city of Banaras, now known as Varanasi, is between your eyebrows at Agnya Chakra. So here we're seeing the idea of the human being as microcosm, a reflection of the greater universe, and therefore a reflection of divine consciousness. In your heart, in the city of Allahabad, where the confluence of the rivers Ganga and Yamuna takes place, also the Sarasvati River, Kamalaya is found in the Saturn chakra. Allahabad is the place where the Kumbh Mela takes place. To prefer external pilgrimages to the internal esoteric pilgrimage places is to prefer pottery fragments to jewels. If you carry out conscious internal pilgrimages, your ignorance will be truly cleansed. So yoga, the practice of yoga, is being described as an inner pilgrimage for spiritual development. True yogis who worship the indwelling spirit have no need of waters of external pilgrimage places, nor of the gods made of clay. Your bodies, tirthas, infinitely surpass those of the external world. The pilgrimage of the soul is the greatest of all pilgrimages. The external pilgrimages are nothing next to it. The mind, when trained, cannot be purified in the external pilgrimage places where people bathe physically. This purification by outward places cannot be effective any more than a rusting pot can be restored by flushing it with more water. Yet the waters of wisdom impaired by the Guru will purify the coarse mind, for the wisdom is a true tirtha, true process. Lord Shiva resides in your body, yet the world would have you worship him as in images of wood and stone, and with external pilgrimages. The true yogi looks within, yet he knows that those images are carved only to help the uninitiated come closer to the greater mystery, the knowledge of reality. The true seer is he who sees the reality, the external one, without a second, as identical with his own indwelling spirit. Through renunciation, you will realize and be able to feel, I am the indwelling spirit. When you see that indwelling spirit resides in the heart of all beings, the vision is all-encompassing. The supreme imperishable reality will deliver you from all ignorance. So the chapter ends again with this idea, with this very non-dualistic idea that really everything we truly need to understand the divine, to unite with the divine, is within us. I'm going to share